And welcome back to Dino Joe's Dinosaur Model Blog, where today we are going to be reviewing the Mattel Brachiosaurus. I think the first thing worth mentioning is just how large it is. As you can see here, we've got the Papotherizinosaurus, Papobaryonyx, Collectospinosaurus, Schleichziticosaurus. Okay, so let's start off with the head. It's really nicely sculpted and it's got a lot of detail. I'm in a really awkward place to record this now as it is so big. I'm just going to try and show you the inside of its mouth. I think that's about as good as I can get it. So you can see there it's got its very well painted teeth and a really nice slightly glossy gum and a very nice varnished tongue. The eye is pretty good as well, just a simple black spot. Unfortunately, there's a tiny bit of black scratch marks below it, but it's very hard to pick that up. Now I'm going to try and show the head face. Here's the other side of its head. Very, very nicely detailed. It's very realistic, surprisingly. It's got a nice, accurate sculpt, and I really like the inside of its mouth, which is so hard to capture on here. It's even got a nice ear mold as well there, and I think it's just very well made. Unfortunately, we've got the little kind of mold line there, but that's fine really. It's to be expected on a Mattel model. Now let's take a look at its skin. Okay, so we can see here that it's got all the little crinkles and bumps here. It's really well detailed. And I think it's quite impressive for a model like this. Unfortunately, there isn't really much highlighting on this. It really is just the plastic. But it is a nice sculpt and a nice mold. But we don't really get any extra paint detail here. Okay, now for some articulation. You've got the mouth that closes. Can be pulled down. Although I think the lower you pull the neck down, the more odd it looks. Also, I think that if you pull it down too much, the joint will become loose, so I wouldn't recommend pulling that up and down a lot. Then, like most Mattel toys and models, you've also got the movable leg as well, but I don't find that's particularly useful, as it makes some quite odd poses that don't seem very realistic. I really like its neck and how it's white underneath. I think this is a very nice touch and it looks really realistic as well. It contrasts really well against the brown and grey of the rest of the model. And the fifth model in my collection, the 2007 Schleichbrachiosaurus, I used to think was absolutely enormous, but now it seems tiny. The Mattel Brachiosaurus is just so big, and I think it's slightly too big. I can't put it on any of my shelves, and I just don't know where to store it as it's so massive. I think before buying this, you need to think about how much space you've got, because this thing is just so big, and it takes up so much space. I think it is worth looking into how big it is first before getting it. Other than that, it's a really good model.